Thanks, Paul. Well, Earth Day is Monday, April 22nd, and what better way to celebrate than by planting a tree and help Mother Earth? And this morning, with some tree planting tips and proper maintenance tips, we've got Carol Kwan. She's a certified arborist, and we have her lovely and talented daughter, Phoebe, as our assistant this morning. Carol, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Now, you have some very important tips about planting a tree, some things to think about first,
Yes.
right?
Well, arborists have a saying, right tree, right place. Before you ever plant a tree, you need to find out how big does it get. You do not want to be planting, a 100-foot tall tree under power lines or something with big roots right next to your house. It's not a good idea. And you also want to make sure that you select quality plants. So if you look, this plant that I brought in as a sample has a large wound. That is a bad specimen. You would not pick this. You try to find ones that don't have a lot of wounds like this.
But this one can be helped.
Maybe back in the back of the
Okay.
planting,
Okay.
It can last for a while.
All right.
When you're ready to take out the plant from the container, you tap around the outside to loosen it. If you look, I didn't tap real hard, just
Right.
enough to try to loosen it. If necessary, you can cut the container as well. And if you look, there are some circling roots here. And what you want to do is to spread those roots, if at all possible. These are light colored. They're where you could still pull them out. They're soft, no problem. If they're woody and they're circling, then you need to cut them because you don't want the roots to keep going around and around in a circle, and that's what they will do. You need to cut them so that they will grow out into the soil. Now for the planting hole, you want to make it about the same depth as the root ball, and you also want to have it about twice as wide on the planting hole, firm on the bottom because you don't want the plant to settle, and loose on the sides, and usually sloping like this so that the roots can go up. Roots need oxygen, which is something a lot of people don't realize. After you've planted, you want to water, and not just the day that you plant, but you need to keep watering for a period of time. The plant will need more water initially, especially if it's had any kind of root loss, and then, so maybe 3 or 4 times a week. You do not want to drown the plant. If it's sitting in a puddle of water all the time, you've got bad drainage or you're overwatering. So you need to do something about that. You also don't fertilize at the time of planting because of the root injury. You usually wait at least 3 months, possibly as much as 6 months. The best fertilizer is organic mulch, 2 to 4 inches, and don't pile it up. We don't want volcano mountains of mulch. All right, you want it out to the sides, generally to the drip line, which is the outer edges of the plant.
Okay, and quickly, maintenance, pruning.
For pruning, you don't want to top trees. That's really bad for trees. You want to do removal cuts back to a branch collar or a reduction cut, which goes to another branch. That's how you prune a tree.
All right, and now you're saying there's lots of information online for folks like me who are grim reapers of plants, but for help, right?
Yes. Locally, there's alohaarborist.com, and I am a member of Aloha Arborist Association, and as well as having my own company, Carol Kwan Consulting. And there's also treesaregood.com, which is by the International Society of Arboriculture.
Perfect. Carol, thank you so much for that information, and Phoebe for your help this morning. And another way to celebrate Earth Day is the Grow Hawaiian Festival that's happening today at the Bishop Museum. And it's a family-friendly event. It's from 9 to 3 today, and admission is free. And to see this interview again, you can head to our website, kitv.com. We'll be right back.